Alright, folks. Welcome back, everyone. 皆さん、お帰りなさい。今日は291日、91日目です。Is day 211. Let's get into our topics. We're on lesson 7 now? Alright. So, slightly more advanced linking and identification phrases. Linking and identification phrase. Identification. Only that is my limit. Learn how to express limits with a dake. I immediately start thinking about mathematical principles. Alright, so just dake. In this topic, we're going to learn about the adverbial particle dake. Dake lets us put a limit on something, saying it's only or just. The word just. We'll also explore the core meaning of dake in the details section. Okay.
コンビニでジュースだけ買った。
Do we have any cautionary stuff? I think dake is more or less pretty straightforward. Although dake can often be simply translated as only or just, the way it is used is different to these English words. Alright, try me. Let's see why and how. The limiter. Dake only comes from... Wait, originally comes from... Right, dake... I'm not sure if I have too many things attached to this character, actually. Meaning height or length. True. It does mean a specific type of length that I'm aware of. I'm gonna double check something. I had to guess young. Is it Jiang? It's Jiang. Yeah. Does have something to do with length. From here, we can see the connection to why, at its core, dake represents measurement of extent, limit. Because dake represents a limit, it cannot be used for every situation where English would use just. That's fair. In itself is a limit. Let's look at some other justs. Note that these are all slightly advanced, so we'll learn more about them in detail from N4 and beyond. Yeah, I think we have like 3 dakes. I think this is a bit misleading. That says the way it is used is different to these English words. English is used in more cases. So it's different in the way that it has limitations. It's not different in the way that it is being used, or inclusive. But English is inclusive. I don't particularly like this type of wording where the idea is that the distinction is that the function doesn't encompass identical, like identity, as in every only just doesn't overlap with dake. It's more so that one has more flexibility than the other. So one is inclusive of the others, or the other words are inclusive of the others. That doesn't make them different, it makes them same or similar. So I think this type of wording can be a little bit misleading in itself. So I'm not the biggest fan of consistently using this type of wording. It's a personal preference. With knowledge comes the differentiation, right? Let's see. What examples do they have?
朝、みかんだけ食べました。
Okay. Right. Boundaries, limits of the activity. So
今家に帰ったばかりなの。
What? Wait. Are they contrasting? I think they're using different types of limits. Yeah. I didn't realize all of these are related to each other. Forgot how Bakari works. Other than it's just Bakari. Yeah, no. Before the no? Interesting.
この靴はちょうどいい。
Do I have Choldo? I'm not sure. And then
冷蔵庫に卵が一つしかない。
Okay. Yeah, exactly right. To be at the point of. So, yeah, so they're demonstrating that in English, you can use just in all of these points. However, kedo only implies limit. It does not imply to be at the point of, which is bakari. And when something is just right, chodo, right? Just exactly, it uses chodo as opposed to dake. And then shikanai is nothing other than, right? So there isn't anything other than the stuff before it. That's what they're trying to demonstrate here, just. But here's the thing, right? Just includes dake. So it's not different. It's more limited. So I'm like more specific. That's why I don't like the word different. Different implies exclusivity, or the word different have commonly now implied exclusivity. So thinking about it as ironically, a limit to its use or more restrictive use is a little bit, I'm more in agreement with that. We can also see how dake is a limiter in the common phrase, dekiru dake. Oh, the limit of the ability, right? Combining dekiru, able to, and dake representing the limit of what one is able to do, right?
できるだけ早く病院に行くね。
Well, that certainly wasn't the example I had in mind. In summary, dake doesn't really mean just. It represents an extent or limit. Well, it does mean just. Or the limit. Just is a limit. And it really does mean that. So I think the way this is written is a little deceptive. It does mean just. It's just that just means more than dake. I think it's the other way around. So, like, just and a subset of just is dake. So if they say it doesn't really mean just, that going this way, that's not true. It does mean just. It just represents an extent or limit. It's one of the many things that just represents. So dake does mean just. The other way around would be inappropriate. So just can mean all of these things. Right. So just has a bigger. Otherwise, you could use things like, well, there's no other thing than an egg in the fridge, right? Those shoes are exactly right. Right? So you can replace them with the actual phrases in English. But just does mean dake. And dake doesn't mean just, it does mean just. It simply means less than what just is. At least in my opinion. Because this would imply that you can't, where you think of just, you don't think of dake. I think that would be a very misleading. I think this is misleading. So when you're thinking of you just ate, like you ate just the mandarin this morning, but you only had a mandarin, right? This morning, and you're telling yourself it's not dake because it's not just. It doesn't mean just. Then I would disagree. This is very inappropriately worded. Particle collision. Since dake is an adverbial particle, yes, so it can interact with others. It can interact with other particles in interesting ways. In a standard fully formed sentence, dake attaches directly to the noun. Okay. And the case marking particle ga, wo, de, etc. directly follows. Okay. It creates a sandwich with dake in the middle. I see.
右の手だけが痛いです。
Like, so this is what I mean by now every time in summary, dake doesn't really mean just. Now every time you read dake, you're gonna try your best to not think of it as just. And instead think of it as a limit. But the word that you're going to think about is just. So I think this is a very hot take. A really hot take. And it sounds like the trap. It sounds like a trap a lot of times. This is kind of the phrasing that I particularly do not, like, I dislike quite a bit when it comes to comparing things.
今日はお菓子だけを食べる。
So only is a nice word, right? Or I will eat just snacks today. Still just. However, in casual speech, the case marking particles are often dropped. Oh, is that why I don't really hear it too often?
僕だけこの家に住んでいる。
Okay, fair enough. Finally, we have a much more advanced point to watch out for. While take usually comes before case marking particles, right? In some specific rare cases, it can technically come after. This is especially true for ni and de. Interesting. So, purpose or means. Destination. Huh.
君のコーヒーにだけ砂糖を入れたよ。
For the moment, it is safe to remember that dake will normally stick tightly to the word. It is limiting, though. Fair enough. It's getting expensive. All right. We see them talking about apartments, convenience stores, groceries, and desserts. Okay. Right. Apato, mansion. Right. Mansion, konbini, yasai, tabun, and dessert.
あかり、今月もお金がないよ。ひな、私も家賃だけで10万円だよ。あかり、家賃だけで10万円は高いと思う。私は家賃と食べ物で8万円だよ。ひな、 そうなの？食べ物も高いよね。ブロッコリーが 200g で300円だよ。あかり。
I don't know, that's
そうだよ
expensive.
ね。私いつも東京公園から50メートル先にあるスーパーで買ってるよ。ひな。あそこのスーパー安い？あかり。野菜だけ安い。ブロッコリーは150円だよ。肉は高いよ。
Yeah,
ひ
fair.
な。私の買っているブロッコリーの半分だ。あかり。
50% off is
でし
pretty
ょ？
good.
いつもその余りのお金でお菓子を買うの。ひな。いいね。
Saving some money on groceries so they can buy snacks instead, or save some money to leave for snacks. All right, so Akari. So basically, this month I also don't have money. Right? So I have no money today. Sorry, not this one. Today. Don't have money today. It's like my rent is 10,000. 10,000 is a lot. 10,000 yen. Oh, sorry, 100,000. Man, 100,000. That's 10 plus 10,000. I did see the dake. So, rent alone, right? Rent alone is 100 yen for me too. So, no, I see just, you can still write just here, but I would say rent alone as opposed to just with rent. So you like 私も家賃だけ rent alone. Rent alone is 100,000 yen for me too. So yeah, you can still continue to swap between just and only. It still means just. I'm slightly triggered by the way that summary was written, but rent alone is 100,000 yen for me too, is what I heard, as opposed to just with rent, it is 100,000 yen for me too. Either. And then rent alone is really high, like 100,000 rent is pretty high, I think, or pretty expensive. And my rent and food, or like grocery stuff, food is 80,000 yen. And this is referring to, in contrast with Hina. Akari is talking about that. So Hina replies, really? そうなの? Groceries is expensive. Or they're claiming groceries is also expensive. In the convenience store, broccoli is 200, and it's 300 yen for every 200 grams, which I have no idea. Like I can't even imagine what 200 grams gramu of broccoli is. So I just took it, I guess it's expensive. Really, food is expensive, right? Broccoli is 300 yen for 200 grams. And then Akari said, yeah, sure, you're right. そうだよね. And then I always go to the I always get broccoli, or I always buy broccoli when there is a 50% like off at from the Tokyo Park, or Tokyo Tokyo Park. So the supermarket, 50 meters, not 50%, 50 meters. Medoru, my bad. I don't know about Saki. I'm not sure about saki. Maybe that's a... It says in front, but it looks like it's another way to express from. Okay. Is that a cheap supermarket over there, right? Is that supermarket cheap? The vegetables is cheap. Broccoli is 150 yen, implying 150 yen per 200 grams, probably, in context. So half the price. That's what I meant by half the price. The meat is expensive, though. Meat is expensive. And then Hina said, but that the broccoli is half price. Like, gotta get on. That's a half price of the broccoli that I buy, right? And then, really, I always, I'm not sure how this works, but I always buy snacks with money I save from that. Yeah. Leftover money from that. So they used a phrase, amari no kane de. So by context, I thought it would be, I always buy treats with the money I saved from that, as opposed to leftover money. However, Amari does say, Amari also can imply either surplus or leftover, depending on the context. And since I didn't see a like a negative tone to this, I thought of it as saving money, like money that's saved as an excess money, versus leftover money as in less of a negative thing. But either or, the sentiment is similar. Although this amari no akane de, or just amari no akane, is something that I had to infer by context. I actually am not familiar with this phrasing. And then, nice. So, this is also slightly tough as well. Wait, what is the inspector for? Saki means ahead. This is used when giving direction to mean ahead or beyond or past whatever noun it is attached to. Yeah, so, but this is then contextually referred to as from, like, there's no particular direction from Tokyo colon. The from here is where that from is. So it's interesting that there's a Saki. Oh, can I highlight this too? Nope. Okay. No inspector on that. So where was our point for this? Our point is yatin dake, right? Yatin dake, and even yatin dake de. So in this case, one of their examples was ni and de could have been in between, but it didn't happen here, right? Did they give an example of the obscure one? No. Yatin dake. I don't think I saw anything else. Oh, there's also yasai dake. Yasai dake yasui. Right, only the vegetables are, just the vegetables are cheap, right? As opposed to only, you can swap them out. No, I didn't see any of the obscure one that they were referring to. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Which, where, and which again. All right, so we're going into our interrogatives, right? Or our doles. So in this topic, we're going to learn about the final piece of the kosoado puzzle, specifically words beginning with do, which are used for identifying unknowns.
どれがお父さんのカバン？
Kanban,
どこが受付ですか？
uketsuke. Uketsuke desu ka? The reception.
どの道で行く？
Okay. There are a couple more, but these are there are not just a couple. There's like 5 or 6 more in kind of a flip on these, but we'll get to them. Actually, 9? Is it 3, 3, and 3? 3, 3, 3? I'm sure we'll cover that at some point. So, doko should be self-explanatory. Caution. Doko should not be confused with dochi. Yeah, a similar where, which is also sometimes translated as where. Dochi focuses on the direction that one is going, which dochi dochira, right? There are others at some point. Dono is only used when there are 3 or more possible choices, right? And then we have dochira, which is between 2. Let's review how these words fit into the kosoado system and also look at some other examples of kosoado words which will not be introduced to properly yet. Yeah, we've not been introduced to properly yet. That's a... why do I feel weird reading this? We've not been introduced to properly yet. Oh, it's because introduced to is a phrase ending in a preposition. That's why it sounds so weird. Which we have not been introduced yet. Right, or introduced properly yet. Not necessary for the 2. Who, which, where. As mentioned on the grammar point pages, the word dochira and dochi also exist. Equivalents also exist for kosoado. Yeah, let's take a look at them all in turn to see what they mean and how they're used. Let's look at them all in turn to see what they mean and how they're used. That's a weird phrasing too. Anyways, both dore and dochira or dochi is more casual speech, right? Dochi can be used to mean which, but dore is used for 3 or more options, and dochira or dochi is used for a simple choice between 2 things.
どちらのカバンが好きですか？どれが可愛いと思う？
Unlike dore, dochira, and dochi dochira is a multitasker. It can be used to ask what direction, who, or even where in some context.
トイレはどちらですか？どちら様ですか？どちらから来ましたか？
Oh no. Okay. We have chira chira chira. Why? Chira. Oh, all the other chiras. This versatility works for, right, koso and equivalent words as well. So kochira, sochira, and achira can represent direction, place, or people. This use of directional words to represent people in particular shows us how relationships between people have distance, direction. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Deicist? Bassist baked into them. B-assist, A-assist.
こちらへどうぞ。
Mm-hmm.
こちらは高田さんです。
安全はこちらです。
そちらに毛布はありますか？
あ、毛布。Blanket.
そちらはあなたの弟ですか？バス停はあちらです。あちらがお母様ですか？
Alright. Off to the doctors. Okay. Someone's feeling not so great. Talking about getting on a bus. Someone also not feeling great on the bus. What is that? Guess something they ate? Then something about not going to work maybe, and then instead stopping in the next bus stop, or the hospital is on the next bus stop and then arriving at the hospital. Okay. Or the doctor's office. Let's find out.
お母さん、すみません。病院に行くバスはどれですか？おじさん、どの病院に行くんですか？拓也、最近ストレスが多いので田中病院に行くんです。おじさん、そうなんですね。あそこのバス停に来る黄色いバスに乗って緑公園前で降りてね。そこで乗り換えます。公園の近くにあるバス停から田中病院に行くバスが出ていますよ。
Oh man, I
拓也、
lost directions.
ありがとうございます。おじさん、お大事にね。お母さん、どうしたんですか？お腹が痛いんですか？女の人、そうなんです。昼に寿司屋に行って寿司を食べてアレルギーが出たんです。
It was sushi.
お母さん、大丈夫ですか？どちらの寿司屋に行ったんですか？女の人、寿司屋の分に行きました。お母さん、そこは古い寿司屋だから危ないですよ。お大事に。
Fair enough.
女の人、ありがとう。そちらは？お母さん、息子が病院に行くので一緒に来ました。あ、ここで降りますね。お母さん、こちらが受付ですか？受付の人、はい、予約はしていますか？お母さん、田中先生で予約をしました。受付の人、わかりました。予約をしている人はあちらの受付でお願いします。拓也、ありがとうございます。
Okay. There's some questionable interpretations that I have here. Okay, so the mother arrives, or like walking around, it's like, excuse me, the bus to the hospital is where? Like, where is the bus to the that goes to the hospital? Right, which? And the old guy said, which hospital? Like, which hospital are you going? And Takaya, the little kid, that recently, oh, well, I need to go to the hospital. Like, he needs to go to the hospital in the countryside because recently he had a lot of stress lately. Tanaka, sorry. I wasn't sure if Tanaka was the name of the hospital, or they're referring to like a place, like a place hospital, so I just assume it's the name. It's the place where the hospital is, but turns out it's the name. And then the old guy, Oji-san, said, "Oh, okay, okay. This is where I got lost because it's kind of like directions. So, you can." So if you ride, so this is notte. Notte is being used as a reasoning, so it's a reasoning conjunctive. So basically, if you ride the yellow bus, right? From if you ride the yellow bus at the bus stop over there, and this is in front of the green park exit, or green park in front of the green park. Like it's a quote. I wasn't sure if you get off, maybe like if you get off at this place. So let's just say the green before Green Park, right? Whatever that means, the quote before Green Park. Then I got lost here. Like, then you take the return trip there, or then you take a turn, like, then you transfer there. Yeah, maybe this is norikaimasu, so you transfer there, and then from the bus stop there, right? From the bus stop there in the nearby near the park, you can get off at the bus will arrive in like at the hospital. I see, hop on the yellow bus, yeah, that comes to the bus stop over there, right? Then hop. Oh no, this is not reasoning, this is listing. Sorry, a list. They're doing a list. So using te as multiple list, right? Two actions at once, or a sequence of action. This is sequencing. So hop on the yellow bus that comes to the bus stop over there, right? And then this says hop off at. Oh, okay, so it's the name of the place. Midori Park Front. Okay, I wasn't sure the front was part of. We just know it was a sign, basically. Midori Park Front. It says Green Park Front. That's like the name of the place, in quotes. So this is hop off or get off, and then you transfer. Wait, what happened to the rest of this? Okay, the rest of this is missing. Wait, is it attached to this? No. Okay, so half the things are missing. And I'm pretty sure is that you transfer there. And then from the bus stop there is a you will be close to like a park, right? And I don't know how this is phrased. Hang on. I thought this means there's a bus, so there's a bus that goes to the hospital, right? So at that bus stop, from that bus stop in near the park, there is a bus that goes to the hospital, and it looks like it's missing the bottom half. So they still have some spacing errors here in this section. That's right. Thank you. Otaiji ni ne. That's a way to say take care. In a look after, like take care of yourself, like someone is ill situation, right? And then the mother says, now, how are we, what's like, what's up, like like how are you, like how's another way to say that? Is everything okay, or how are you doing, right? To the random person in the bus. Does your stomach hurt? Yeah, like what's up? どうしたんどうしたんですか? And then the lady said, そうなんです. Yep. She had sushi for lunch, or in the afternoon. She went to a sushi place in the afternoon and ate sushi from oh, she's allergic. Her allergies flared up. Oh, I didn't even catch the allergy part. Yeah, her allergy flared up from eating sushi. This te tabete is implying a sequence. Or sorry, not sequence. This is the reasoning te. So it's like, because due to eating sushi, allergy flared up. Oh wait, I just realized this is dasu. I mean no, desu. Nah, they didn't use dasu. Interesting. Okay. Are you okay? 大丈夫ですか? Which sushi place did you go, right? Did you go to? And then she named the place. I'm just gonna assume it's a Boon's Sushi. Boon. I just read this as Boon Sushi. I have sushi shop. I have no idea how you. It just got Boon. No Boon. So Sushiya. You're right. Sushiya no Boon. That's where they went. Boon the sushi guy. Hold up. Oh, that's cute. Okay. Interesting. That is one way to interpret it too. Sushiya, using ya as a person as opposed to a shop. That is interesting. And then it makes sense, because it'd be Boon the guy. Boon the okay. I almost feel like that's a pun. Like using ya for double meaning here. Basically, the only way I would interpret this is that's just the name of the place. So Sushiya no Bun is just the name of the place. You know, what is that? Namae dake, right? Namae dake desu. Then the mother said, you know, in terms of being in that at that place, it could be dangerous to if there were old sushi, right? take care. Right, get well soon. It's risky since it's also. Oh, now it's referring to the also she played. Okay, I'm not sure how I feel about this statement. Okay, arigato, and then そちらは I don't know contextually what this is. So like, I guess it's just you. What about you? Okay. So そちらは is kind of hard. It's attached to this lesson on this topic. So I guess you're referring to something away from you at the listener, and then there's only two of them talking. Oh, そちらは interesting. She's saying because I have to since I have to go to the hospital with my child, we're going together basically. We're arriving together. And we have to get off here. We'll hop off here, right? Since my son will go to the hospital, we came together. Yeah. And then the mother is now they arrived. Now you have to imagine them arriving at reception. It's like, oh, can we be received here? Is this reception, right? And the receptionist, right? Oh, I don't know if that's right. Is it? No, I don't think so. I think this is an error. This is another furigana error. Ka no hito. I mean, you could see this as ka, I suppose. Ka no hito, but uketsuke no hito. This part is right here. Interesting. Do you have a appointment, right? Or booking, sure, right? Yoyaku. Yoyaku wa shite imasu ka? And then she's like, Tanaka sensei, right? Tanaka sensei de yoyaku shimashita. Yoyaku o shimashita. And I wakarimashita, which was yesterday's lesson. Wakarimashita. I understand. Please go to that register to regarding the appointment you have. Please use that register over there for people that have that registration, right? Reservation. And then, right. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you. Oh, there's some rough ones in here. I think the roughest one here is whenever there's directions like this. Oh my goodness. I can't follow that fast enough when I'm listening alone. When I'm listening alone, it takes me a while because sequencing is my sequencing is off. Reading along with it made it a lot bearable. So basically, as this person was talking, I got lost about here. So what I did was I quickly read the whole thing while they were still speaking to catch up just now. Like as they were reading through, it's obviously faster for me to read than to hear someone speak in order to catch up, largely because I spent most of my time reading Japanese and not particularly listening. And certain things are a lot easier to listen to, like answer, response, singular questions, that type of thing. So you have the baton tossing. But when someone starts to explain something, that's when it gets tough. So this part is technically no longer conversational. It's not a conversation. This is an explanation. So explanation and dictation. And that's usually hasn't been my focus yet. So following this for a long period of time, that's kind of rough. I got lost the moment I heard the sign. Like I got lost right here, this moment. Anyways. Nice. We'll do one more topic. I love these things. Te time. Okay, so we're learning all about all the te. I already highlighted 2 te, sequencing te. They actually used sequencing te before, and they also used reasoning te, which it appears they're not gonna go over that yet. And then teiru, which is the state of being or present progressive, or just progressive state. And then tekara was not used yet. So let's go into this. In this topic, we're going to learn about another way teiru is used, and also about the tekara pattern. With these, we'll expand how we can connect verbs and describe the world. Yeah, fair enough. That's a little describe the world. A little poetic. With this use of teiru, we will be able to talk about states and results of actions, right? And with tekara, we'll be able to emphasize the strict order of actions. So this is a bit different from... So I said progressive. When I think of state changes, right, using the progressive, so like what is it? Aspect, right? Whenever I think about aspect, I just use the keyword progressive. But what I mean by progressive also involves the results of an action, as in the state has changed and continue to stay that way, which is probably the point that they're going over, as opposed to the state of being doing something, like I am running, versus I have started running and continue to run, right? Or I'm in the state of running, I've changed to the state of running and still am running situations.
庭に花が咲いている。
Right. So the flowers are blooming, right? In the progressive state, they have started or begin blooming and continue to bloom in the garden.
駅に着いてから電話をするよ。
Oh. It follows? Oh. Wait. Oh, no. Yeah. This is a verb. ついてから. Sometimes I misinterpret this for a different use, a wearing use, and not a arriving use. Alright, we got teiru, second one. Yeah, state of being, has, have, done, right? Appropriate one. This grammar construction is used for listing things that happen in order, right? The sequence. For example, I did A, then B, then C, right? Other grammar structures will need to be used if you would like to talk about things that happened in no particular order. For example, yeah, tari suru, which will appear in the sentence I did, like, yep. Kara can come from almost any form of, can come after almost any form of word. Tekara is the only form that translates as after A, B. Akara and Rukara will translate closer to because or since. Takara, because is fine. Sense, I don't think. Remember this. Oh, because they're referring to a verb. A verb coming after a verb, and then the past tense of a verb. Okay. And then this is the progressive. Or not the progressive, but the te form. So te form, past tense, and I guess dictionary. Or non-past plain form. Let's take a closer look at te and think about Japanese verbs to illuminate why teiru appears to mean different things with different verbs. Okay. What's going on? We've obviously discussed the difference between aspect, right? If something is ongoing or not, and tense, right? The time it happened. I adopted that word from the day before or yesterday, aspect. To help us understand the uses of teiru, let's see how different verbs handle aspect. Verbs can be split into different groups based on how they express aspect, which is also reflected in how they use teiru. For example, we have now learned how teiru can be used for an ongoing action and also for ongoing states, right? The resultant states. Hence the I've started running and continued running, the state of running, as opposed to I am running, which is I'm currently running, the ongoing action of running.
猫が水を飲んでいます。
Right, a cat is drinking water, so that's an ongoing action.
スーパーの入り口が閉まっています。
The supermarket is closed, so it closed and continues to be closed. Right, ongoing resultant state of an instantaneous action. It closed up and it stays closed. In both cases, something is ongoing, right? For verbs which express continuous action, the action is ongoing. For verbs which express instantaneous action, the resultant state of the action is also considered to be ongoing, right? Close, like when you're closing something, you could say you're in the middle of closing something, but when something is closed, it simply closes technically once, but we're talking about the state of remaining closed. Tuteru or not tuteru? Oh, that's a good question. Help me out with this one. Large part of the N4 block. I've come to understand that you simply teiru until you discover when not to teiru. is how I feel about it. There are also verbs which generally do not use the teiru form. Oh, okay. These verbs represent states which do not have an instant where there is a before and after. They just exist without a start or finish. Oh. Well, of course, iru would be one of them.
橋の下に宮崎駿がいる。
Yeah, simple sentences. Okay.
ここから鳥が見えるよ。
Oh, it's a spontaneous perception, so non-active process. Oh, mieru. Interesting.
弟は料理ができる。
Oh, can is okay. Fair enough. Ability and potential. And finally, there are verbs which are essentially always use with teiru. Yeah, it feels like they're more. It feels like teiru is far exceeds the not using. These verbs tend to express characteristics or appearance rather than action. Oh, okay.
私は太っています。
This one's a weird one. I'll have to keep that in mind. The state of things. In summary, there are broadly 4 ways to group verbs based on how they express aspect, whether something is ongoing or not. This is reflected in how teiru is used. Okay, let's see the 4 aspects.
子供がおもちゃで遊んでいます。
Alright, ongoing continuous action, sure. That's the staple.
財布が道に落ちています。
This is a resultant state. So they drop something and it's still like that's the state that it stays in. Still dropped.
私の傘はおばあちゃんの家にある。
Okay. So those are the simple existence, right? Which is a state, but it doesn't use teiru, right? This is one of the exceptions.
お母さんは痩せています。
And then the focus on characteristic. Okay. Does this help me with figuring out when not to use? Huh. The most important takeaway is that teiru does not always mean doing right now. Sure. Ideally, think of teiru as the action is alive or active. Okay. Sometimes that means the movement is active, like eating, and sometimes it means the result is active, like being married. Fair enough. I can get behind that. The action is alive or active still says doing right now. Like, I think more so that the most important takeaway is that you're thinking about the persistence of a state. So if you're doing something right now, the state is still doing right now. It's still happening. So the ideally teiru is if the state of the action exists or is existing, which is certainly not as elegant as the action is alive. But oftentimes state covers both action and the doing right now. So if the state is still ongoing, as in the state of doing something, right, which is encompassing this, that's kind of the takeaway about it. It seems like simple existence is one of the exceptions. I'm still looking for more exceptions though. It does often feel like teiru gets used far more preferentially, even when you're simply stating sometimes I think they're simply stating something, like the dog run. However, it simply becomes the dog is running, right? So when you see something in a distance and you want to describe the dog runs, oftentimes it just comes off as the dog is running. So when I'm saying that, it ends up being teiru as opposed to just I don't know, hashiru, right? Hashiru instead of hashiteiru. Yeah, right. You saw what? Okay, someone's describing. So it looks like it was a crime. Someone stealing something, or I don't know what that is. Like, is that person trying to take a huge bag? That's a large bag. And then we have some skiing and chatting with maybe a BFF. I have no idea what's going on there. And then the heck is that? Something about visiting, maybe like visiting their house or something from the station. All right, let's see.
あつし、死んでいる人を見た。姉、どこで見たの？あつし、学校から家に帰る道で見た。雪が降っているから学校でスキーをしたんだ。姉、
Oh.
うんうん。あつし、
Oh no.
そこにめちゃ怒っている男の人と悲しんでいる女の人がいたよ。とても太っている男の人とカバの絵の T シャツを着ている女の人。二人が車の椅子の下から黒い袋を引き出しているのを見た。
Oh my goodness.
え？あつし、
Oh gosh.
スキーをしてからレストランに行ってそこで牛丼の大盛りを食べたんだ。お母さんと電話した。お母さんは会議が終わってから家に帰るから今日は帰るのが遅いって言ってたけど、この話をしてから今から帰るねって。姉、 そうなんだ。大丈夫よ。お姉ちゃんがいるからね。
Oh my goodness. All right. Hold up. Okay, so he saw someone die, right? Saw a dead person. Where did you see it? Or where did you see them? Right? And he saw it when he was returning home. He saw it in the streets when he was returning home from school. And basically I saw it. So sorry, I flip my nouns when I'm referring to someone. He said I saw it, right? And here's, oh, you know what? I just realized why I read why I switch persons when I'm reading like Twitch chat and YouTube. It's because most of the time I'm inferring. Oh, I didn't even realize that. So obviously this person is speaking about themselves, but I'm referring to the person while they're speaking. So don't worry about it. Like either way, it can actually be interpreted the other way. Anyways, and then they said because of snowfall, right? He was skiing in school, or we did skiing at school, which was weird. I see, like I sort of got lost here. I'm like, oh, they saw it on the road from school, and then suddenly he's talking about skiing. I didn't know why this was a hard break, man. Like, wait, what? Why are you talking about skiing now? And it's like, right, okay. So then this is where it goes to explain. And this is rough. So there was a woman who, like, oh no. Like, there was a woman who was sad because a scary guy, there was a scary guy with a sad woman, right there. And the very fat guy with they took the like, I don't know what kaba means, but it has something to do with a picture of a t-shirt. I guess maybe kaba is something on the t-shirt. Like, it's the the female was wearing a t-shirt with a picture of kaba, and the very fat guy, and that the two were together, right? He was describing the two people. Then together, the two of them, they hid the black bag, right? They pulled he saw that there was a black bag that they pulled from under the car from both of them. So then there was a really angry guy and an upset woman. Oh, this is upset. Oh yeah, okay. Kanashin, okay. Upset. Alright, I said sad. Upset. I was thinking sad and worried, not upset. And then a really chubby guy and a woman wearing a t-shirt with a picture of a hippo. Oh, a kaba is a hippo. I had no idea what a hippo is. It's just a picture, like they were describing the t-shirt. So okay, so kaba is hippo. And then they saw two of them like pull a black bag from under their car seat, right? So that was fine. except for the hippo thing. I had no idea. I'm like, what is on the t-shirt? So we got stopped on the t-shirt, and then I wasn't sure if the woman was sad, or like maybe the angry guy was like arguing with the woman, so to speak. So it turns out they are accomplices. And you have the what? And I definitely got lost where this is going. So, because then he started talking about skiing again, right? So, he went to the restaurant after skiing, right? Or from skiing. And then there he had a gyudon, right? He had a beef bowl, a big beef bowl there, right? And then mother called, basically. Mother called. Regarding mother, and I got lost here. So I guess she told, because she said to return quickly home. She's going to be late returning today from the meeting, right? Because the meeting, because of finishing the meeting or the discussion, is gonna be late returning home. And this talk, they had this talk, like she's gonna come home to have this chat. So let's see. After skiing, I went to a restaurant, right? After skiing, went to a restaurant and ate a large beef bowl, right? That was fine. Oh, he called. I did. Oh no, it's not mother calling. He called. So I called mom, and then mom said that she will come home after a meeting finish. Oh, yeah, she's going to come home late today, right? Late today. So said to come home after this chat. That was okay. Oh, he called mom. I messed that up. I thought it was the other way around. Okay. And then I see it's okay. Your big sis is here. Yeah. お姉ちゃんがいるからね. Now here's the problem. I got really lost because I had no idea why he was talking about the dead person and then suddenly swapping to skiing, and then talking about the dead person and then suddenly talking about skiing again. I was expecting him to expound upon, like, continue talking about the story about, like, how, so, like, this person said they saw a dead person on the way back, right, on the road back from school, from the skiing, right, since it was skiing. However, then it didn't really lead up to talking about the dead person. So I imagine this was to set up the dead person. And then she's like, what? And then suddenly he starts talking about skiing again. And I'm like, what is happening? So this one, it was hard to follow because contextually it wasn't coherent. So that's okay. So some of these things don't have to be coherent. It was still understandable what he was talking about. I was just really confused. Like, it's like whiplash. Like, is the dead person, right? The dead person was connected to seeing it on the way on the road from, like, doing the skiing, right, at school. That's probably the connection here that was being made. And then I'm imagining that they were describing something that had something to do with that. And then it just stops. That's it. Like, it just stops, and then they talk about the rest of their day. So and then suddenly he's talking about his mother. So I got some severe whiplash from this one. Now, if I had to think about how coherent this is, I'm not reading a story, right? And if you're thinking about conversations, I don't necessarily think this is abnormal. I do feel that unironically, when I hear someone tell me something online, like on a Discord channel or having a voice chat with someone, I feel like this is how people talk. Unironically, not ironically, like unironically. Now, is it a skill issue? It might be my personal skill issue because I got some severe whiplash from this. And whenever this actually occurs fairly frequently, and I haven't gotten pretty accustomed to this. So whenever someone like asks them how's their day, and I'm in their confidence, like they're in my confidence or I'm in their confidence, there's a mutual trust. When they start describing their day, it feels kind of like this, which is they would start with an idea, right? And then I would ask a question, then they would try to explain the idea, but suddenly tie it in with the other thing that they were thinking about. And then they would go back and describe the thing, but suddenly then shifts over to the rest of their day and then whatever concerns them. So in between, the things in between, the connections are kind of loose. So while I'm thinking about this again, while I have severe whiplash, I don't necessarily think that this is abnormal. I think unironically, when people talk about stuff, it feels like this, in my opinion. Like when I ask them to explain something, or, oh, how so? Like, how is your day? How bad is your day, right? Like, someone tell me, oh, I had a really disappointing day today. I was like, how so? And they would say something like, well, I fell down when I was going down the stairs, but then I went to the store and got some ice cream. Then the ice cream tasted really bad, and I got home and played some video games. Right? That's kind of what I mean by this. Like, I do get whiplash despite that. My inclination when someone tells me those three things is that I would be inclined to fill in the blanks, which is what I'm doing now. So if someone says they had a bad day, all right, let's see what the bad day is. Okay, so they fell down the stairs. Then what? Did you get up and take care of, like, did you hurt yourself? Are you okay? That would be my first question, right? Oh, hey, are you okay? I might interrupt the person and ask, I hope that everything's safe. And it was like, oh yeah, I went to the the grocery store to get ice cream, and then they said it was mediocre, and then they went home to play video games. But before they get to the home to video games, I would ask them, like, what kind of ice cream did you have? How was it disappointing? And did you decide then to return home to play video games to lighten up your day, right? Because there's a logic to it, right? There has to be some sort of connection, but I don't see the leap of logic. It's very difficult for my leap of logic. And I talked about this before, where when people speak nowadays, they know what they did, to yesterday's topic about knowing and understanding, right? Understanding would allow one to explain their understanding, like the comprehension. When you know something, you simply state all the things you did without any attention to why are you mentioning these things, what are linking these. So, like, maybe the person fell down the stairs, they kind of hurt themselves, so they saw maybe stopping by the convenience store to get something for their injury, and then there to treat themselves they thought ice cream would make them feel better. Unfortunately, the ice cream was disappointing, so they decided might as well head back home and rest, and while they're resting might as well hop on and play some video games to make more of the day. And now I'm talking to you on Discord, right? That has transitions. It has motivation, it has action, response, and logic. That's not usually what I hear. I honestly think, unironically, when someone tells a story, this is what I hear a lot of times. And it doesn't really change. Like, I still get whiplash. I stop, like, at every point here and here, I would probably ask a question to fill in the blanks on why they're saying this and then suddenly saying this. Now, when I go to speak, I would use transition words and transitional phrases and things that link the two observations together, right? There will be requirements for transition, conditionals, and reasoning in between, which, to be fair to the Bunpro team, there's a chance that they're kind of not doing that right now because they haven't covered the topics to do those things, maybe. Or they're trying to not make this too long, or maybe engage in specific things to connect ideas. It might be a little bit too difficult at the moment because there are still other topics to cover before being able to do that. When it comes to English, I would say, yeah, this is about as unironically on point. When someone says, like, oh yeah, this game is bad. I played the game for 10 minutes and I discovered that this bug happened and now it's bad game. And my first thought is like, okay, so you're gonna need okay, I'm not following. Can you tell me a little bit more? Like, so you played the 10 minutes. What happened in the 10 minutes? And then how do you define a bad game based on the 10 minutes you played, right? There's a big leap of logic. What it stated was they did something, they know they did something, and then they came up with a conclusion. That's like saying I saw a dead person and now I'm talking about skiing. Like, oh yeah, I saw that person on the way from school. Oh, by the way, now I want to talk about skiing, right? I still used a transitional word there. Oh, by the way, since it was snowing, we did skiing at school, and now I simply, because I was skiing at school, I happened to be traveling and I witnessed something. And I witnessed the following, right? That's where the transition would help me not lose my place. I think it's a skill issue for me personally. If that is a social norm, if talking like this is the social norm online, you could argue, well, I'm the one with the skill issue, because I'm suggesting that usually clear communication revolves around some sort of reasoning and logic. So this really lacked some coherence. It is not uncommon, that's a double negative, it is fairly common to witness this online, especially when I ask people to try to explain things to me. Usually this is how it goes, at least in my opinion. So I try to fill in between the lines. Like, okay, so maybe they're suggesting that they are mentioning these things because they're connected to each other. And guess what? I do find out from time to time someone will say, oh, they're not connected. Me and someone named Procall have these discussions a lot where oftentimes when you're talking to someone, right, and they make a statement, it's often like I get into trouble by thinking too much about the logic behind things, like why people mention things, like the subtextual motivation, because oftentimes when someone's talking to me and they make a comment, it can be completely unrelated to what I'm saying. Like we weren't having a discussion. It was simply just state something they knew or they know. Like if I just so happen to be talking about economics, for example, and then someone stops by and they respond to my economics comment. They're like, "Oh, I disagree with your statement for the following reasons." And then I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, let's have a discussion about it." Then after a while, they would state another thing. They're like, "Well, the economy is kind of garbage over here." And then my first thought is like, how's that related to what I just said? And then over time, I try to look for it. I'm like, okay, so are you stating that as a form of contrast between what I stated about the economy? And then the person was like, no, I'm just stating it because I know it to be true. And my first thought is like, okay, so we're not having a discussion anymore. That happens on a regular basis, where if I'm having a discussion, then the person I'm speaking to, I have an expectation that may or may not lead to misunderstanding. It's the idea that when I'm having a discussion with someone like this right here, the person responding is also going to communicate with the information being given. So there would be a back and forth, right? However, my experience tells me that oftentimes when I'm talking to someone, there's it can be difficult to follow if I'm going too far ahead, or my thing is the way I'm describing might have a leap of logic or something, and they simply wanted to state something, which does happen. It's happened on a regular basis. At some point, someone's going to state something, and it was not related to anything I said, despite we started with a conversation. So it's kind of like, hey, you spend 30 minutes talking about how the premise to Persona 3 is fantastic, and then the other person's like, I like Persona 3, but not as much as Persona 4. And then you would think, oh, okay, is it related to something I said for the last 30 minutes? And they would say something like, no, I just wanted to share that I like a particular Persona game. It's not relevant to what you were sharing with me the last 30 minutes. That happens quite often, actually. It's one of those things like I've come to normalize, because it's not really a personal thing. Relatively speaking, when you speak like this, it's fairly haphazard, but some thoughts have gone. So usually this is where the Gen Z audience would say, it's not that deep, Chief, right? And in this instance, it's not that deep. And then I would respond in a, I don't know, in unk way, it's always that deep for me. And it's easier to go deep and then go back for me than it to assume it's not that deep and only go deep when you have to. Because I like to practice putting in more effort and then tailoring it back than putting in the least amount of effort and only step up when you need to. It's a reverse situation. So I'm used to always stepping up and then falling back when I'm too exhausted. So I like to do more and work harder whenever I can. Like push myself to work harder, care more, do more at any time when I'm able to, and then rest and tailor back and rest, tone it down when I'm unable to. I think nowadays when I interact with younger people, it's the opposite. They only step up when they need to. They want to minimize how much effort it takes to have a conversation with someone, learn something. They want it to be the most efficient possible, to do the least possible to get the most out of their efforts. And that means that when it comes to conversation, less is more. And less is more is the gold standard. And for me, more is the default. And tailoring it back means that I did extra. So extra is always nice. So I'm going to phrase it in two positive ways. When it comes to conversation in the younger audience, less is more. They're looking for quality, right? So saying less, getting more out of it. And then that's the goal anyways. Do they achieve it? I don't think so. I think most of the time they achieve less. They become lazier and more complacent and express less because there's less practicing, right? There's less of this to practice. So you say less and you're hoping you get more. So it's the hope of getting more by doing less. On my end, I'm usually doing more only to get less, right? The reality is I do more than I have to, and I will naturally become tolerant to receiving less. Because if I do more, that doesn't mean other people will reciprocate. But that's the negative way to look at both those situations. The positive way is less is more, higher quality, less yapping. That's the goal of Gen Z, in my opinion, online. And then for me is invest more because it's worth it. That is the positive way. Like I go as hard as I can because I live up to, at least I try to live up to my principles, which is if you don't think our time and our conversation is worth investing all you can at any point, I will do you the favor, or like I will do myself the favor by putting it all on the line, right? So usually I go harder and have the discipline to hold back, right? So most of my practice is go hard, work on discipline to exercise restraint. The less is more situation is keep on optimizing for efficiency and then hope that you never have to exceed or step up. And to me that's much harder. Like I don't like the idea that when someone approaches me with a problem, your first thought is, do I want to work hard enough to help this person? Versus I'm just going to help this person and see how well I can help this person. Versus the other way around where like, do I want to help this person if I'm able to? Because you're constantly measuring up. And for me, I go in and figure out how much I can hold back. So kind of like carrying a sledgehammer versus carrying a fine-tuned machine, right? Anyways, well, that was interesting. This gave me a lot of flashbacks to my everyday ongoings, like as a slight nod to what I do with my time when I'm not streaming. I'm doing this most of the time. I'm having conversations with random people, or not really random people, people who want to talk whenever. And or if I have time, I would read conversations between people to understand, like read conversations between a younger audience versus an older audience, look at different echo chambers, largely because it helps me navigate these things. And this really does remind me, it's something else to read it in Japanese as well. It adds a layer of weirdness. Like in English, I have the ability, right? I have the ability to navigate a leap of logic. It takes me much longer in Japanese, largely because I'm not only am I I'm also doing the whole like explaining and reading and all that, and then suddenly having to transition between, in my opinion, my personal opinion, very unnatural, incoherent incoherent flow in conversation, it can take more resources. In English, since I don't necessarily have to dispense effort to reading and finding the logical loops between the construction of the sentences, I can account for higher order, right? Higher order lack of coherence, which is my natural state. I spend many hours per day evaluating people's logical progression and like transition and explanation in English. Maybe one day I would say I could be a modest person who is able to talk about transitional points and higher order concepts when it comes to like storytelling in Japanese. Like, how would I go about telling a story that makes it coherent between like there are a couple lines in between these two things that are missing, that I would have to, what I would do is I would take the English equivalent and I would translate the English equivalent to expressing the connection between this idea up here to this idea suddenly, and then to the bottom idea. Because it certainly is, I mean, if I was big sis, I would be pretty confused. I was like, wait, hold on. Chotto mate yo. I don't know. Naze naze aforementioned. I have no idea where like, wait, hold up. How is this related to this, right? Like, that's kind of what I would think right here. Just in the middle, I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. And then obviously this is, since they're related, I'm guessing they're related, this mother comment would be something contextually familiar to the two of them. Anyways, this kid seems like a goober, right? A goober little kid, little bro, and then the older sis is maybe trying to be a listener. Okay, all right, let's go. That's it for today. We'll eventually, the focus is I kind of want to do the rest of these lessons before the month's end, so then we can do our recording for our N5 practice test, the Bunpro practice test, at some point before the end of the month. Hopefully we get back on to this stuff at some point. That's a wrap for our Bunpro session today. If you're gonna watch this later, arigatou gozaimasu. As always, feel free to follow along, pick up Bunpro for yourself, have a read at the topics. It's always beneficial if you can self-correct or look for any erroneous things. We found another furigana error, and then we also found a spacing error today because of multi-lines. There must have been some sort of line break issue where the X of the translation maybe accidentally it missed the line space, so half of one of the lines went missing. So still working things out. Obviously, it's a new thing, it's a beta thing as well. Nothing one can't cross-reference and adjust themselves. So hopefully the Bunpro teams got the magnifying glass people on it, stating all the stuff that may or may not be up to QC at the moment. And obviously you're more than welcome to come on by and yap, discuss, and talk about what did you find, how you like the topics update. Right. So until next time, 皆さんまたね。見てくれてありがとう. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm gonna get up, walk around, stretch a bit, and I'll be back for HanziHero. Thank you. Alright, folks, welcome back, everyone. 欢迎大家回来。今天是第564天. It's day 564. Let's get into our lessons. We're still going through the new curriculum update right now. Reading a few sentences on the side. Looking at our character groupings and all the adjustments. So I encountered a couple character adjustments yesterday. Let's get into it here.
讥笑
So laugh and ridicule. Just stare at. That's fair enough. The ridicule is still fair enough. 不要讥笑别人的错误. Yeah. Barely. There's a deep cut in here. Yeah, there is a deep cut in there. Let's see. 他因为发音不准. Is that 准? That's not 准. 不及被讥笑了. Oh no, it's 准. 不准. What is that? Not allowed? Or it wasn't up to snuff? Wasn't accurate. 被讥笑了. 被 because. Oh no, no. 因为 is because. Due to. So basically due to inaccuracy. Then 讥笑别人. 别人是很不什么? 很不礼 it's not 貌. Oh no, it might be 礼貌. It's behavior or manners. The 行为 or yeah, 行为 as opposed to way. 行为 is a tone shift instead of 行为 and 礼貌. How did 貌 work? I want to say something about like charitable or appearance. Dang it. I was not close to appearance. Okay. I didn't remember what the character ascription was. This is proper, or I think it was defined as ceremony, but it also means proper. So proper appearance, which is, since this is 不, it's not proper, so not polite. 礼貌 just flowed better. Contextually, this can only be 礼貌. So that's fair enough.
讥笑闷热
闷 didn't have a vocabulary. 闷 is the one that didn't have a vocabulary, and it's really tough. Then we add it with 热. Oh, stuffy hot, muggy. Yeah, or hot and stuffy, that's fair enough. There's a missing letter there. But stuffy, yeah, 闷 is tough. It does look like 闷 with just the door, though. Like 闷. And although it's one and has to deal with a heart, stuffy. That's a tough one. 闷热，今天很闷热。Naturally. 房间里很闷热。Sure, describing the room. 就是秋天常常很闷热。
夏天常常很闷热。
It's 夏，秋 is autumn, right? Dang it. Yeah, of course. 夏天。Alright. Fine.
闷热，曝光，
曝光。曝 is make clear and then light or expose. Make clear. Do I know pool? This right part does look like pool. However, I think it's not as strong as I would like it. Oh, maybe it doesn't look like pool. Or like bow. There is another pool, right? Yeah, right next to it. A waterfall. Expose helps out with the sun. Pool is a weak one. Different. Plus water. No baseline for that. I'll have to come back to that one. That's a weak one. Very, very weak. Okay. The Guan does help. 浙江 picture 照片不关 something 过度
这张照片曝光过度。
不关过度 overexposed. Interesting. 过度 I see that. Oh no, media. What is that? 媒体 right? 媒体曝光了10条。
媒体曝光了事件。
Whoops, that's 件 not 条件。媒体 or media. 他的秘密被曝光。照片被曝光在网络上 online 照片被曝光在网络上 Oops.
曝光，油腻，
Knee is oh no, that's a bit cursed. Greasy? I guess when you're tired of oil, it's greasy. It's considered greasy. Full of oil in your biggest cigarette. I suppose. Oh man, that's weird. Knee is weird. Yeah, that's tough. 这个食物很油腻。Fair enough. 我不喜欢太油腻的菜。 他吃了很油腻的food. What is that? 料理 interesting 料理油腻的oh no how does this work 东西 oh 东西things oh things 东西对油腻的东西东西 I forgot 东西 for like just regular things is just east and west put together or yeah 东西对身体不好这家餐厅的菜有点油腻。
这家餐厅的菜有点油腻。
油腻，娇气，
娇 is supposed to be lovely, but then qi for delicate. Yes. That's a hard one. Off 娇 I don't quite get delicate from this. Maybe delicate as in like graceful air is kind of delicate. 一只很娇气的手表
一只很娇气的手表。
Oh yeah, it's 3-3, not wait, yeah, 手表 it's 3-3. 这孩子很娇气 OK. 别把小孩 ought to be 叫的那什么 What is that? 那该那么娇气 Oh wait hold up Oh I didn't look at that closely Was that really how that's what Shema is? Oh man. Oh man. Oh. Yikes. Alright. Yeah, Nama. Like so. Like to the extent. That extent of delicate. That extent. Okay, this one's kind of tough. Oops.
娇气，
This one's tough.
讥笑，闷热，油腻，曝光，娇气，
Alright.
与众不同，
与众不同 Okay, Yi is that's not what I remember Yi being with. I think this got changed. So I'm gonna have to look at this. What was this originally? Maybe like a company or related? Oh, maybe bestow or something like, or oh man. I don't think it's with. So you zhong is a crowd, 不同 and not the same. So different, not so different from the crowd, but with. I don't think it's with that I originally had. Did I? No. And these are new words. What was this originally? Oh, it's offer. Yeah, bestow. To give. So like to give, to offer, to bestow upon something, or like to, yeah. So now it's with as the primary read. So this is different. Good. I still remember. And then what was that? This is a what? Wait. Space capsule. Yikes. It is a tough one. Yeah. With. Okay. Okay. So with the crowd, like, so with the crowd that not the same. So with a crowd that's not the same, so different from others. That's fair enough. Or out of the ordinary. Yeah, different from the rest. Different from with the crowd. Unconventional. I think we have another unconventional, and I don't remember what the phrase is. Okay. 它的风格与众不同。
他的风格与众不同。
他是一个与众不同的人 ，fair enough。他的想法与众不同。哎。
与众不同。砍伐。
砍伐。fa is to fell, to like fell someone in general. Kan is to chop down, right? Kan is pretty tough. Kan is tougher than fa. Kan didn't have a vocabulary word, so I think I don't remember if I had a kan vocabulary word, so this would be the first one. So we're chopping, we're also felling something. Oh, it could be fa actually. Either of these. 他用锯子. Is that the saw? Is that how 锯子 works? 锯子砍伐树木。
他用锯子砍伐树木。
锯子 is actually a weak one too. I only remember it because that it has to be G. Is because the right hand looks like G, and the only way you can 砍伐树木 is to have a saw, and the only saw that I know that looks like a G is G. This G. 这里 oh no. 这里 forbid. What is that? 金石 no. Oh, how do you 金章? I don't know how you stop 金指. Okay, it is 禁止 not 禁止 禁止 heck 禁止 something 一回 Oh no, it's the leftist with the. I want to say it's 回忆, but. 对, it could be 对. No, 水. Okay. I was stuck between 回 or 水. 随意 Bunpro forest. What was forest? 松林 森林 wrong location. Actually, there's no such thing as. Oh no, there is. I'm thinking of pine. 森林 随意 I don't know if I understand how this works. Oh, it's because I don't. Okay, to let, yeah. So what if this is so a forbidden maybe idea? A forbidden permission, basically, like a forbidden idea, permitted idea. So not permitted. To counter the permission. 政府计划是划 right? 是 this is 计 and then 划 hopefully for plan. 计划刊发一些危险的树。Yeah, 计划。Oh, yeah, 计划。
砍发膨胀
Peng is to inflate, I guess that's fine. And then zhang is to swell up. So inflate and swell, expand. Fair enough. 热水 heck 热水让空气 right 空气膨胀 so 让 is to make 空气 is to air and then 膨胀 yep. What is that? I immediately wanted to say 轮 I should 轮 yeah 轮胎 oh 轮胎 oh yeah that's right that is tire 轮胎 like a wheel tire 轮胎膨胀的太多了。
轮胎膨胀的太多了。
这个城市，绝快 help， it's 快速膨胀。快速 is rapid, right? Because it's using rapid. Okay.
膨胀悠闲
悠闲 yo is to like draw out, so basically casually or leisurely, and then 闲 sleepily, leisurely. Okay, it's just drawn out and leisurely. Yeah, okay. I got you. Carefree, relaxed. 他在公园里悠闲的it's not 跑步散步 I was thinking of jogging, but 散步 to walk. 假日的还是假日 no 假日的all I can think about is 快 that's not 快不是快早晨 yeah right 早晨什么早晨不得贵的不得 no 显得显得 maybe 特别悠闲显得 okay like feels more or less yeah feel especially leisurely yeah 特别 yeah and early morning oh it's 早 not 早晨 I said oh no wait did I say I might have said 早 as opposed to 早晨 I might have messed up the initial there yeah 假日 oh it is 假日 it's not 假日 dang it I was a 50-50 on the 假 I didn't think it I thought it was 假 as opposed to 假 so 假日 as opposed to 假日的早晨显得特别悠闲他悠闲的坐在 top 坐在什么台长台唱台 no 讲台上看书沿 oh it's a hoist oh it's a hoist 阳台oh it's positive dang it where am I hoist this is hoist young that's young too which one is that oh that's the tree that's a proper tree dang it oh, that's roof or balcony yang tai interesting you know what this kind of reminds me of what is Okujo this reminds me of Okujo it's so weird okay
悠闲老爷
it still makes sense the way it's written though like I think of something like a top of something 老爷 oh no it's another oh no okay hold up Lao is grandmother right and then ye would be grandfather so if you combine them together usually the ye takes over so maternal grandfather so maternal grandmother grandfather okay members of the family is we're gonna have to break out a family tree at some point 我老爷住在 countryside 乡下 right 乡下 我们常去看我姥爷。我喜欢听我姥爷。I was gonna say duh, but 姥爷去no 讲故事。Oh, interesting. As opposed to like instead of 讲故事 as opposed to like 叙故事故事 or like any form of narrating, describing like 描 or something, but this is 讲故事 because it's more of a lecturing thing. Interesting.
老爷
Okay.
与众不同，膨胀，老爷，砍伐，悠闲，
Okay.
弥漫，
弥漫弥漫 that's to overflow. Okay, to be filled up with. Yeah, to fill or overflow. Okay. 弥漫房间里弥漫弥漫着什么？弥漫着fragrance 香味，or is that 香蜜？香味。Okay. 空气中弥漫着 smoke 烟什么 down in cloud 烟雾 oh fog 烟雾 so fog plus smoke 烟雾 interesting or a haze fog fine 街 street 街 plus oh no what's 米奇街米奇 oh no I'm drawing a blank. That's a memory block right there. 街道 we're just gonna say like 街道上弥漫着tense high tense 紧张atmosphere 气氛。Oh, it is Dao. Okay. 街道上 Okay, I just went with my gut. 街道上弥漫着紧张气氛。Okay.
弥漫，敏锐，
敏锐Ming is agile, right? Agile is so weak. Ming Ray. What the Ray? Sharp? Oh no, these two are really weak. And sharp as in like dexterous sharp. Yeah, I would say dexterous sharp, right? Ming Ray. Keen, acute. Oh, perceptive. Actually, sharp, maybe perceptive. Perception is probably. Perceptive is good too. As opposed to dexterous. It kind of feels like it's a combination of dexterity and perception. Dexterity is involved in perception checks, so they're both kind of in line. Being Ray, oh man, Ray is weak, and it doesn't look like Ray. It looks more like a combination of like. I actually that's just weak in general. Ray is even weaker. It's the right thing is very weak. Right. Shui would be my first inclination, and then Tuo would be my next one. Shuo is actually on the weaker side. Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. Or read. 对 is weak too. All of these are pretty weak. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably the strongest. Read plus like joy or delight. Okay. Left one, Ming is a little weak because of Wei. You're right. No, Wu. I'm thinking of Wu. Okay. Hmm. 他的官 tech 官 I want to say cha li 很 yeah 查力很敏锐 观察 which is like the ability to observe observational skills. Yeah, 力观察力狗有一种敏锐的 smell. What is that? 嗅觉。它对它的味道的感觉非常敏锐。行。
敏锐，疲倦，
疲倦。疲倦。Oh, I had another P earlier. Tired. 倦. That's also tired. That's a double tired. What was the other tired? Oh no. Oh, the other one was used in a more dynamic way. Zhen. Oh, that looks like Zhen. However, tired is not what I would have thought. We got the actual scroll. Okay. Okay. 我今天感到很疲倦。他看起来很疲倦。需要休息。对，休息 ，rest。工作一什么天 ？all day。all。I don't remember。让他疲倦。不堪一讲，好的讲 How is that interpreted? Yang Yan? Entire whole, okay. But where did I get lost? Correct. Mormon bundle. Okay. So the Jiang on the bottom. That's it, the entire bundle. Okay.
疲倦、衰竭、
衰竭. Shy is to decline. 绝? What the 绝? To use up? Oh no, 绝 is weak. Kind of looks like 和. Alright. So use up and decline. Failure. Oh, you're like exhausted. You're on the decline. Like organ failure to fail. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Organ failure. Exhaustion. Like declining exhaust. Like declining in energy. Like being used up. 长期. 长青. Why do I think that's qi? 长期. But then I think of qing. 50-50. Why do I think that's wrong? Wrong lei. Or 聊 lei. Oh, 聊lei. 聊lei 可能 LA 可能 something 到导致 oh no, it's not 致导致 okay 劳累长期 okay so that's 长期 for sure 长期劳累可能导致 like lead to or result in 器官 oh 器官 is the organ 器官衰竭oh 竭 I almost dropped this too and I was a 50-50 on qing versus qi 医生说他的是哪几 heck 这样 what type of organ 是肾还是肾 yeah I think it's 肾脏衰竭了肾脏 the kidney 他因什么他因 oh no it's another organ 他因 that's a liver right 肝他因肝脏衰竭 are are due to like receiving that's 疗治疗 what is this 接 oh to fix 接受receive 接受help receiving and aiding giving welcome accept 肝脏 I lost 治疗 but it is still healing 治 has an element of healing, but it really assists. Yeah, it has cure in it. Also used as govern. That's interesting. This is a tough one. Sure, Liao helps out. Because it deals with curing, but the other one does too, technically. 治疗. And then the vocabulary actually focuses more on governing.
衰竭，吓唬，
吓唬. Xia is to frighten. Who is to bluff? Who is the this is a vocabulary for who, probably. I don't remember another vocabulary for who. Oh no, wait. It might be for frighten, actually. Who. Bluff is who, right? Third, so it got silenced. Ah, 老师用 eye gaze 眼 all I can think of is 眼上 Wait, has it always been Shang? Oh yeah, it is actually. Yan Shang. Oh, actually. Why is this being used as gaze? Interesting. Yan Shang 吓唬人. Interesting. "我们不会被吓唬。你不能吓唬别人，来解决问题。Okay, like resulting lie. Interesting.
吓唬，
吓唬
弥漫，疲倦，敏锐，吓唬，衰竭，
All right.
由衷，
有中 What the 中 is inner feelings. Okay. Kind of looks like a jung with yeah, and then yo. Yo is up to inner feelings, sincere. Oh, okay. Up to is bad. Oh no, yeah, that's bad. Yo is really weak. Okay, yo. 我有种感觉 no 感谢你的帮助 Sure. 我给no 他给我一个有中的 smile 笑 怎么笑 Oh, like 微笑我有中希望你一切 really 一切 yeah 一切顺利 no 顺利 not 顺利 smooth 顺利 which is that goes well 一切 interesting 一切 oh it becomes 4 I don't know how 切 works I guess like an instance oh no oh everything interesting everything 一切 one slice each share all together. Okay, it's okay. And then it has a tone shift. Each share. Okay.
由中
I don't know which one's tougher. Zhong or Yo. They're both kind of rough.
桥梁
Qiaoliang. Okay, a bridge is fine. Qiaoliang, double bridge. Qiaoliang. 这座桥梁 okay, 做 again bridge counter 这座桥梁很长他们建了一座新桥梁这座桥梁非常 sturdy 固是什么固坚固坚固 oh wait oh yeah wrong tone 坚固 that's the default tone what oh
桥梁粗鲁
粗鲁 粗 is rough or coarse so abrasive and then rude 鲁 so something abrasive rude is rude or rough 他对老人很粗鲁你不要那么粗鲁 okay 那么 we saw 那么 earlier and then other words 语言有点粗鲁no 言语 oh I got them backwards got them backwards I get these two backwards quite often actually 言语 so originally I started with 言语 and then I double back and I'm like 语言is very similar than 言语 and then I get them swapped quite often
粗鲁比压
比压what okay D is to resist and yeah what oh no okay resist to pawn okay a mortgage is to prevent something from being pawned off yeah or you pawn off something temporary until you can pay it back you're unable to resist I'm gonna say to resist being pawned is to prevent getting pawned like resist pawning okay something is to pawn is temporary until you pay it back to mortgage something is to pawn it temporary until you pay it back yeah you're unable to resist paying I'm just gonna think of it as to resist pawning is to pay your mortgage right to mortgage something 他把房子抵押给 bank Right, Han. Han is a different read for Xing. Han. 我不想抵押我的车。银行有要求他 or like required 要求他抵押一些什么物 property 财务财务just like materials plus things.
抵押
Mortgage is gonna be tough.
兑换
兑换 that's to speaking of 兑 yeah, that's to convert and then exchange 兑换 speaking of convert, Juan is on a weaker side. It does look like Juan though. This part, Juan. 对 is special. We just gotta know 对。我想兑换美金 not 美金。金 is from a different dialect. 美金 金 is still gold, but it's a different dialect. 美金。我需要把美金兑换成兑换是 change 人民yeah 人民币这里不能兑换热权。Oh, 热元 not 热权热元 interesting. They use yuan for yen. Okay. Remembering.
兑换由衷桥梁抵押兑换粗鲁
All right. All right. They went kind of all right. But we still got many more word things to go. It's kind of all right now. I definitely see some very weak characters. Pool is probably the weakest of them today. Pool. If for water, sun. I do see some vocabulary where, like, vocabulary uses, like single character stuff. Single character stuff is pretty rough. And then alternative reads, right? 金行 金行 No, 银 right? 银行 I said yin. Oh no. Yes, yin. Right, yin han. Alternative reads. So we have alternative reads, single character things, tone shifts. What was an example of a tone shift today? Oh, we have way and way. for sure. Don't remember. It's a 2 to 4 shift. And there's a couple silences in there. Anyways, we're still going through word discovery. It's kind of, I like this. Once we go through most of our lessons, which is effectively word discovery, we're gonna catch up on our character studies for this month. I don't know how many more lessons there are. Let's actually take a look quickly here. Oh, that's simplified. So we got some word additions. It's interesting that this was removed. Qiao Liang, but we just got Qiao Liang just now, so I'm not sure what they removed. It's weird. So we got newly added, right? So I don't know how many these are, but it's clearly more than 100 of them, right? Let's see. How big is... And... Okay, let's look at this. 3... and... 20... 30... roughly 40... 80... 120... That's a lot. I think that's gonna take us through the... So we might have to squeeze in, once I'm a little bit up to speed, we might add some character studies on top of it. Today is going to be my last like kind of chill day. Then we're gonna start up our persona stuff again, our P3P, do our Makoto Yuki playthrough. I'm basically resting up the voice, and then I'm gonna be doing a lot of reading. So I'm gonna keep my Bunpro and my HanziHero sessions a little bit on the abbreviated side, cover the 2 updates, and then complete our P3P stuff, and then start on our P4G playthrough soon. More resting today. Trying to ease back in. Alright folks, that's a wrap for HanziHero today. If you want to watch this later, 谢谢. As always, feel free to follow along, pick up HanziHero for yourself. You're always welcome to come on by, discuss, yap about things. Until next time, 大家下次见. 感谢观看. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.